In a significant diplomatic incident that captured global headlines, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump experienced a major fallout during a critical meeting at the White House regarding the ending of Ukraine war. Trump described the encounter as great television, but observers deemed it a disaster for international diplomacy. So, let's take a look who stands where in the Ukraine war. Is there a gainer, and where will it lead to from here? Who are the biggest losers? After 3 years of war, Ukraine has suffered heavy casualties, with much of its eastern territory now under Russian control. A ceasefire would make it difficult for Ukraine to reclaim lost areas. President Zelensky has insisted that any peace deal must include a full Russian withdrawal, including Crimea and the Donbas regions, which Russia annexed or supported separatists in since 2014. Zelensky has stated that Ukraine cannot accept talks without its involvement, criticizing U.S.-Russia meeting in Saudi Arabia on February 18th. It seems like Europe is nervous after recent negotiations between Ukraine and the U.S. The meeting between American and Russian officials in Saudi Arabia upset European leaders. They have criticized Trump for offering Moscow concessions. This included ruling out NATO membership for Ukraine and suggesting it was unrealistic for Kyiv to expect to reclaim the 20% of its territory now under Russian control. President Macron called the meeting to coordinate Europe's response to Washington's shifting stance and rapid Kremlin talks. France, wary of U.S. moves, is concerned about a Trump-Putin axis sidelining Europe. Keir Starmer aims to bridge the Trump administration's gap with Europe, focusing on securing lasting peace with strong U.S. backing. The UK plans to increase its support, including a £2.26 billion loan funded by frozen Russian assets and £1.6 billion for Ukraine's air defense missiles. Starmer emphasizes Europe's commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and security. It seems Berlin's support for Ukraine remains strong, as the political elite understand that a bad deal undermining Ukrainian sovereignty would be disastrous for Germany. In the past 3 years, Germany has shifted away from Russian energy and significantly increased defense spending, but this has taken a toll on its economy. Then, who are the gainers? The U.S. has strengthened its leadership in European security through the Ukraine war, serving as the primary arms supplier to Ukraine. This conflict has increased military spending by NATO countries, benefiting American defense contractors. The war has reduced Russian energy exports to Europe, leading to higher imports of liquefied natural gas from the U.S. The U.S. is focusing on ending the war in the short term. Russia is particularly thrilled, arguing that Trump's stance complicates Ukraine's war efforts and creates divisions within NATO. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is interested in American proposals for ending the conflict, while Putin outlines key negotiation conditions, including recognition of Russian-occupied territories, lifting sanctions, and denying Ukraine NATO membership. After the war began, China took a mediating stance, supporting Ukraine's territorial integrity while maintaining stronger ties with Russia. Despite accusations of supplying dual-use goods, China defended its right to trade. It increased energy imports from Russia and filled gaps in the Russian market with Chinese firms, while enhancing cooperation in developing Russia's Far East, benefiting China's Northeast region. So, what will happen next? Despite tensions, Trump halted military aid to Ukraine after a confrontation with Zelensky, leaving Ukraine's defense uncertain. European allies are scrambling to compensate, while Trump demands stronger peace efforts from Kyiv. The suspension also impacts ongoing arms deliveries and raises questions over billions in assistance.